Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and I'll go through some live analysis here. We do this every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Live trading with stocks with JTrader on Wednesday at 10, and then Scott Pulcini, a futures trader, live trading at 10 a.m. on Thursday. JTrader on go Wednesday through at 10, the and then risk disclosure here. Futures trader, live trade. General disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, can everyone hear me and see my screen? We're going to jump right into this S&P E-mini. And see what's going on in here in the order flow. If you can just give me a heads up there in sound check, audio check in all good. Okay, thank you. I'm so bad. All right, we're ready to go. All right, so interesting stuff right off the bat. You know, we have interest rates, hawkish outlooks here from the Fed. Obviously, this is having an impact on stocks. That's just how it works. And you can see this move into the figure down here, 43.50. Okay, right into high liquidity. It had been in the book here for quite a while, and it transacted. Okay, so buyers down here. We already have kind of double distribution day here, as you can see. And we'll cover that with market structure in just a minute. I want to take a step back, though. Well, we'll read the order flow, I guess, quickly in here. Obviously, we're bearish here. Strong move to the downside, a pullback, beautiful pullback, also a beautiful pullback to VWAP. But it's the market structure and the order flow here. It's aligned with the VWAP. Great. Now you have a higher probability chance for this continuation to work out. Nice little buying here. It did make a higher low here, but look at the selling coming right back in. All right, so we need to see if sellers can overpower these buyers here, and that's what we're looking for right here, just above the figure. All right, so you can see a little bit of buying coming in already, but there's some strong selling here. So I'm looking for continuation. Let's see if we get some more sellers here, and we should get a quick move down to this kind of 48 level and then 45. And high liquidity, you know, much further down here, around 32 or so is what it looks like. Now, this isn't going to be such an easy move here. However, this is why I'm going to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. All right, here we go. This is the daily chart over here on the left-hand side, the hourly in the middle, and the 15-minute here on the right. So here's a beautiful trending day yesterday. My God, my Lord, look at that move yesterday. It makes me kind of sick. I was quite busy here at Bookmap yesterday, but I mean, this is just to die for. Anyway, let's go over it here. You know, this was on the daily chart, higher time frame and market structure, and what we're looking for in here. I haven't played around with these lines in quite a while. I've left them, and you can see you know, some of these areas here where we retest back up into, and we were looking for rejection. However, it was right around in this area here. We're looking for a rejection and then a move back down. Market came back up, pretty strong move all the way back up into this area here, knocked some stops out above here, and then rejection came in yesterday hard. Okay, so and now we're seeing continuation today. Now this is where it's interesting, is some of these swings, or the swing from a few days ago, that's where we're testing right now. Okay, so we're going to have to see if we can on the hourly chart here, strong move, strong momentum here, looking for continuation until we see something different. We're going to find some profit taking down here. We're going to find some buyers here. We're going to kind of bounce around a little bit because this is where we found buyers before. Look at the wicks. Okay, rejection and rejection. But we're back down here. We're going to look for more selling power to try to drop this. And, you know, next area, is likely, let's move this line down to here, something like this. We're looking at a swing here on the daily as well as a swing high here. So that's around 43.23, okay, somewhere around there. Yeah, that would be the primary scenario here. Looking for this continuation, strong selling. We're bearish with the fundamentals. We're looking for the order flow to align with some of these concepts here. All right. So, yeah, we're going to get some back and forth in here. Here we go. Okay, so here was that strong selling we just left off on, and then look at the buying coming back in again. All right, so it's going to be back and forth in here for a bit, yeah, I'm still looking for the bigger picture and the momentum here and the move lower. Okay, so now we want to look at the market structure in here, and we want to kind of understand the order flow within the structure, and put some pieces together. This is like part 2 of our educational course. Part 1 talks about basic market mechanics. Part 2 builds on that foundation, and then moves into market structure using market mechanics. And we can look at this on a very, very small level, and then on a higher time frame level. Right now we're going to be looking at on a higher time frame level. Okay, so we're back up into this kind of swing here, there's high liquidity up here at 43.70, and that's kind of where we drop from here. Now we're going to see a lot of stops triggered above this area here, I imagine, as a lot of people are looking for continuation here. So it's going to be some back and forth in here, and then we'll see in the order flow, we're going to match the order flow to align with these different scenarios. Okay, so here's some rejection already, looking for a bounce back into VWAP here. It's only 4 points away, but I'd be looking for it. So here's our sellers. Let's see if the sellers can even maybe bring it back down to here, 55, where they broke out from. No, not yet. No selling down here. Okay, let's see if we get our selling down here. Nope, not yet. All right, so they're going to looking for 70 then. Okay, we're not getting sellers down here. That was what we're looking for. Note how we're not getting it. All right, so buyers are coming in. Where they want to go, look for liquidity here at 43.70. Okay, buying pressure coming back in. All right, so let's suppose we get up to this 43.70. Yeah, we got a high volume node up here. We have other, and I'm going to talk about high volume nodes here in terms of structure again. Okay, so we're going to look at this sideways consolidation that makes up that volume profile. Okay, and then where it broke from, and then now this one down here. Okay, and we're kind of in the middle of it right now. All right, we got to move back to VWAP. We didn't get up to the 70. Still looking for it though. There's some buying up here. Okay, here they come again. Okay, more buying at the top edge here. Let's see if we get a skew in that order book in here. They're pulling up here at 65 a bit. That's good. Okay, let's see if they show more demand here. Here they come. Oh, sellers come and slam on it. So that's a change in the order flow that kind of disrupts our what we were just looking at. Okay, and you can see now we got some selling pressure in here. Yeah, that kind of changed the game right there. Okay, now we're down below VWAP. All right, we're going to go through a couple different scenarios again here. Where this player came in and disrupted that at 63. Okay, the scenario is this, and this is all within the order flow. What if we get buyers back up above 63? Okay, that means that this is all on the hook. Okay, and then that would lead nicely into a measured move, basically up into 43.70. Okay, and that's where the liquidity is. Now that's the scenario though. We have to get buyers up here to upend these sellers, where the sellers are taking control right here. All right, let's take a look here. More selling still, making slightly lower lows in, or some lower lows on this move back down. Okay, but what we're looking at is the buying from here onwards. Okay, and it did make a higher high and a higher low in here. So we're watching this. Okay, all the way back down to where these buyers initiated. Okay, be on the lookout for this. The secondary scenario here is if we just see sellers come in like this bigger player here that kind of disrupted that whole game here. Let's see if they can do that down here. There's a trend line here and there's point of control here. But again, let's put this in order flow perspective here. We'd be looking to see for the secondary scenario here would be sellers moving it away quickly from this whole value area here. That it's you can see the huge profile and the high volume node here. All right. So and you know we're talking about this kind of sideways consolidation in here, and what we know is it takes tremendous selling to move it away from previous areas of volume. Okay, a lot of stops will be triggered. That will help cascade the move as well, but it is new selling coming in, so we're looking for that scenario as well here. Okay, and I don't see it yet. Okay, we're not engaging the sellers down here quite yet. Okay, so if that's the case, let's see if buyers try to trade it back up into VWAP and again back up into this 70 level here. Okay, so we're looking for sellers, or if we break our this little kind of structure here, basically we need to see buyers back up above 55 here, and then that looks pretty good for a move back to 60 and then maybe to 70 here. Okay. So two different scenarios, and we're outlining what the order flow is going to look like. And that'll give us clues in here. Significant clues. Okay, selling starting to come in. And then we're right back to this 54 area here. See nothing yet. All right, so sellers are dropping it. Now it's still not significant selling here. So still being very careful with this one here. If this can be a false breakdown of this little area. No, more sellers compounding in here. All right, looks like sellers going to try to take it. 45. And they're on the offer here at 50. It's not out of the woods yet. Got an iceberg, 138 there. Careful here. Do you think market is just playing games since it's Friday? No, I mean, like you know, we have a lot of players in the market still. Europe is still open for another hour and 10 minutes or so. So I mean, there's still a lot going on in here. We're just looking for a good read in here, this was this kind of player changing and really shifting the whole kind of dynamic up here. And usually, to be honest, like we see this happen like 2 or 3 times for that single player to kind of change the sentiment. However, the sentiment is bearish in general, so it didn't take much for this player to kind of have an impact on the market. Okay, I mean, like, watch. Buyers should I'd be looking for them to trade right back up to this liquidity here at 51, because we got a lot of sellers on the hook down here, and let's see if we can get them upended by buying up here and then moving this higher back up into maybe even point of control. But I mean, that's it though. I mean, we're not looking for much right now. We're just reading the order flow in here and trying not to have a bias. The order flow will tell us what's the reaction to this liquidity that just came in here. Okay, they moved it up. Okay, sellers just took them on. Okay, well, do we get more buyers back up here? Not yet. Let's see if we do. Then we're looking for 51. Okay, let's see if they move up a little bit more. It's kind of dark in here, right? So we're looking for maybe a skew in the order book and the reaction to be buyers here. Okay, and we're not trying to be Nostradamus here. We're just trying to read the order flow and the sentiment here. So yeah, we found a few more buyers here. Now let's see a little more demand here, and let's see the reaction to it. Other players are testing it as well. I mean, they're kind of flashing in here in the order book and see what is the kind of sentiment of traders. And what better way to do that than to show your order sizes in here and see how the market reacts to it. Okay, and what better way to also false advertise? Okay, so no, we didn't get our buyers up here. Sellers are now coming back in, but let's keep an eye on this here. Okay, more sellers down here again. All right, looking for them to follow through down to 43.40. Okay, and maybe we can get down to 37 here or 32. Okay, so we're not seeing those buyers come in yet. In fact, our pullback was very shallow here. We were looking for a full pullback all the way back up to here in that liquidity, just to test it. So we're getting kind of insight from the market structure in here. Okay, let's see, 43.40 liquidity is right here. There they go. Okay, so buyers are stepping aside. Sellers have control here. Let's see them move it back down to 37 and 32. Let's take a step back too and look at our bigger picture here. Okay, so here's our drop below the swing on the daily chart, and our next level was down here at 23, right? Okay, and pretty strong momentum here on all charts basically. So yeah, let's see, then just go with the continuation here basically. Where's that 23 level? Let's see if there's high liquidity down there. There's some at 25 here, not a whole lot. Most of the liquidity is up here around 32. Okay, almost 600 icebergs. Well, 595 have already transacted. It's still active here. There's probably quite a bit more behind it. There it goes, 665. And we got a buyer down here at 63 is already transacted. Okay, let's just read the order flow here. Boy, they don't want it. They're not interested in this 40 level right now. Buyers are not interested. Not yet. All right, let's see if we get some more sellers, bottom edge. And then continuation into our 37 level. And we got our 35 down here. Okay, watching this little value area here. And let's see. Okay, see how it's building this edge down here? Or you can see it in the profile, the amount of trading here in a sideways consolidation. Okay, and this is what's going to move the market here. Is someone's going to get off balance here one way or the other. Okay, and we're going to just read it and look for it. Okay, here come our buyers here. There they go into 40. Okay, not out of the woods yet. Let's see if we just get a lot more demand in here and then stream up. I really like a move back to, if we zoom out here, I like the move back to 45 and then also maybe here at 50. Okay, so buying pressure. Now we got to see continuation. This is that last gasp in here. A lot of times you'll see this buying and then sellers below here at 38 and then look out below. Okay, but if we get more buying back up here again, I'm looking for the move to 45. Okay, and that's what we're reading in this small time frame in here. And let's see if we get follow through. Not yet, and in fact we're showing more here on the offer, not more on the bid. Okay, this is the critical moment right here, and let's see it, sellers 37 on through into, heck, maybe 32 here. 35 is liquidity as well. Okay, there's 37. Okay, being very careful here. Yeah, like false breakout here, breakdown, very possible. And if we get our buyers back up here again. All right, so now these guys are on the hook. Let's see these buyers squeeze them, and let's see this move up into. So we were looking for this move down below. We got it initiated. Okay, so now they could be on the hook though. Now, why this cluster here? We covered this many times. What do you guys feel about this cluster down here of selling? Okay, and why they are on the hook here? Okay, and why now I'm looking for buyers in here in the move to 45. Okay, so they're already showing up. Okay, and we're looking for continuation here in a squeeze. Okay, 45 is a good level here where it dropped from up here, but the liquidity is more up here at 50. Okay, so we're reading the current order flow in here, yeah, we've gone back and forth on it. But the reason being is like when we look for a move away from a value area or a consolidation area where there's a lot of volume, okay, we look to see like in here, okay, buying's not bad. Okay, did they continue? No. Selling down here, not bad. Did they continue? No. Okay, we got more buyers back up here now. Okay, so this bodes well for that move and that continuation up into 45. Okay, and even that one's not unfolding at the moment. Okay, so yeah, let's see if we can get back up here again and then stream to 45 and then 50. Okay, starting to unfold. Careful. This is tricky. Careful, looking for the buyers here. Looking for our order book to help us out too. And nothing here is dark. So not much insight there. This is just a beautiful bottom edge here. Someone's going to get hurt one way or another here. Okay, all right. So sellers driving it now. Looks like sellers got control here, and is that strong enough here? It's still only a few points, so still being careful here. You know, another potential false breakdown here. It's just not enough. We really need, the volume's not bad. But we've covered this many times. Where's the volume taking place? It's here. Okay, what about all in here? Well, we don't really see a lot of selling in there. We're looking for strong continuation of selling. Okay, moving price. We're just getting at the ends here. Now there's our bigger player again. He just moved the market here. Just hit 400 stops basically. And now look at the move higher here now. Okay, now we're on the squeeze is on here, looking for these guys back up here around 41, and let's see if they can move it now. That's a wicked trap there. Let's see if we can get a squeeze going up into, yeah, still like it, our 45, and then our 50, and then maybe we have VWAP and point of control back up here, 52, 50. 57 or 56. This is a wicked move here. This is what we're just talking about. See how it's trapped, and then this larger player came in here and really dumped and triggered a lot of stops. Okay, so what we're looking for is now we have something to kind of chew on here. Okay, love to see more buyers up here at 40. Love to see this order book light up underneath here, and this guy here at 40 and a quarter pull. There, he's pulling. All right, do we get someone underneath here, more demand? There's a little bit. Okay, do we get our buyers up here? Not yet. Okay, more demand here. Let's see the reaction to this demand. Okay, sellers take them on. So there's some selling still in here. All right, so we got a little bit of insight from that. We get our buyers here. Starting to, looking good. All right, a little bit more here. The squeeze looks good here. Okay, I'm looking for them to squeeze higher, up to 44, and maybe higher here. I'd love to see this order book light up underneath. We're getting a little bit underneath here, not a whole lot though. Okay, and squeeze it, buyers. You got it. You've got it here. Still, order book is really dark in here. It's not going to take much. They can, I think as some larger players can flash in here a little bit, we'll see more buyers in here and start to trigger some stops here and get this nice move here. Okay, looking for that. That adds a lot of value in here. Okay, it's doing it without much demand in here. Okay, so let's see 44. That's where the liquidity is starting to show up. Okay, back up into this swing high here. All right, and still looking for, back up into where it dropped from here. And higher liquidity is still basically up here at 50, the figure. Okay, volume looks good here. I like it. Let's see if we can get our continuation here. High volume node for the day is here. Up around this kind of 53, 54 area. Look at these guys defending the low volume node in here. Okay, so we got to get a lot of buyers to show up here. So, this is where, there was a lot of trading, went through it quickly. And then that building out that bottom edge down here, all that volume down here, we're looking to see if the buyers can get back up through this area, back up into that previous structural area here. Okay, volume profile, or also just volume, or smaller structures in here. Yeah, see how they're defending it here? We also have a combo level here from Brent Kachuba, spot gamma. So it might be asking a lot here if they're going to defend it up here. And we're not finding the buyers move higher here. I do like the buying in here. It looks pretty good. So still looking for them to try to attack this area here at 44. Yeah, Alec, you're being kind of cautious in here. Not a whole lot of bigger traders you're seeing. Yeah, and then it can be really kind of choppy, but you can see how the larger player can really move that market here. Here comes our squeeze, guys. Beautiful, beautiful squeeze. Actually, not seeing a whole lot of stops yet. Okay, so that also gives us some insight, right? Okay, so looking for 50 next target, and then back. And like we've mentioned before, these mean reversion traders are relentless. So looking for continuation, not just 50, looking for 53, 55 here, back into this previous structural area here. Now they've made it through the low volume node here. All right, so let's see if we get kind of a bounce off of it here. So right around here, pull back here. Yeah, funny. Just kind of filling that area in right now. Come on, where are those relentless mean reversion traders? No, trend will likely go down, Alec, as well. I agree on that. I'm watching really closely in here this dynamic between these buyers and sellers, and trying to get them on the hook, because I'm just not convinced with some of these little drops in here, like we were mentioning. It's just you have to really pay attention to these areas in here. When it drops and they move it away on strong volume, that's something different. That's what we're looking for, because then we're looking for a new range, a new area to be established, and then the continuation. We're watching and looking for it here. Yeah, I thought this was it here, but it still may be. We just need to see if they can get back up into it, and then back up into here and get more people on the hook yet again here. And we'll see. I mean, here's where that buyer is sprung from, right in this little area here. You can see them, the dots. That's where we're testing right now. So are they going to support it? Let's zoom in here. I thought they would support it more in here. Okay, we went down to where they initiated the move here. Okay, point of control has now moved down to here. Okay, this is the most traded level. That's going to kind of disrupt some things as well. Okay, this is no longer the most traded level, up here around 53. Okay, all right, so we're bouncing off of it. And we're going to get more sellers here. They're going to go for this 32 liquidity here. Bottom edge. Got to see the sellers throw up here. Still, I mean, yeah, I mean, they're showing up, but they're not able to quite drop it yet. Okay, still nibbling away at it. Okay, there they go. All right, so they're going for it. So this will be a new low then, down to 32. Just not finding buyers. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that was the overall kind of like, you know, looking for this 23 level down here. And just super strong momentum here. Okay, let me get to some of these questions here. Do I see icebergs move down from 43.25? I see one down here, 63. Is that what you see, serendipity? Okay, guys, we're starting to trade into or get into this 32 liquidity level here. High liquidity here, 800, almost 900 contracts down here. Big iceberg buying there too. So, you know, we're 900 contracts, one iceberg buying this bottom edge here. This has just been tricky. And yeah, I mean, when it looks so obvious, just look for these little areas, trappy areas, and then, you know, these kinds of moves unfold. And we will get those mean reversion traders. They will show up at some point here today. Maybe it's been a little early for them. But, you know, at a certain point, like it kicks in. Let's see, what does it typically mean when there's almost no big areas where resting sell orders? So, yeah, I mean, it just means like, you know, there's just not a whole lot of supply or demand in here. Right, and then that's what can lead to volatility. Like right now, you know, I mean, liquidity is here. See how we can get some insight from this right here, 36. When we see some sellers take it on, so, you know, we know that there's some selling pressure in here. This was like a test here. Okay, show high demand, right? Are there sellers? Yeah, they found some. So now we're looking to see if we get, you know, a move one way or the other here after this event. Okay, so they're showing, you know, some supply up here. What's the reaction? What does the market feel about that liquidity? Okay, it's not you know, it's not like some sort of math problem in here. It's like, oh, it did this, it did that, and then now it's going to, you know, therefore it's going to go, you know, a million miles one way or another. I mean, see how the one player can come in here and disrupt it just like this right here. Okay, and that's a stop run too. 274 stops just triggered up into point of control. So, I mean, that's very, very difficult to see when that might occur here. Now, we did have a little bit of a skew in the order book here, and that's helpful. Okay, it's pretty far away though. Okay, and now we have more demand here, and we're above it. Okay, great. All right, so let's see. Are they interested in going for this 43.40? No, now we're down below it here. Okay, are we getting sellers down here? If we get sellers at this bottom edge here, and this liquidity pulls here, yeah, I'm looking for 33. Okay, there's our sellers. And yeah, I just don't like it. I mean, like, yeah, selling looks good. It likely is more likely to go to 33 here. But, you know, we got some demand in here. And then this move is not very convincing here. Not very convincing at all. Because, yeah, you know, after this move, there was a little bit of selling, a little bit more selling. But it's not a whole lot, and it didn't move. It only moved like 3 ticks. So this is why, you know, we didn't like it. We want to avoid it because this is where the trap was set. And it was like what we were showing earlier, these little pockets selling down at the bottom edge, upended by buyers coming back up. And then the squeeze. Okay, back up to 40. Okay, back to point of control. So it's been yeah, kind of tricky, but we know what the scenarios are in the order flow, and we're just going through them. I'm still really curious about this area up here, right here. Okay, and if we can get buyers back up there. So that's around 43. We can take a look at this here. Okay, obviously this is a stop run. Actually, let me take that back. It is a stop run, 64 up here. But this is a larger player coming in and sweeping the order book higher, buying. Okay, that's disruptive here. I look at this is just beautiful. Just takes all the liquidity, takes it, and then stops are being triggered in here, and then stuffed at the end here. 64. All the stops after he is finished buying, the stops are transact, the buy stops. Now let's look at that relationship of this here. So we went a little bit higher. So, you know, where did this buyer come in? Where is he likely to defend it? We look here. Back down at here, 36. Okay, now let's move forward. Okay, we're down there right now. Okay, is he going to defend it? I don't see in the order book here, not much. Now he bought with market buy orders, and we got sellers below it. Now here he comes. Let's see if we get it here. Okay, 36.50 here. That's where we put our line. No, they're selling below it. Boy, the order book is pretty dark in here. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Yeah, we got sellers below this line here. All right, so now let's see if we can get a nice push then down into 32. No. Okay, we're back up to our 36.5. We get our sellers. Boy, I don't like it. I mean, you know, there's some down here. They're starting to show a little bit in the order book down here in front. Just not much insight here. Okay, we're back down here. And just not convincing. Not bad, but it's not much of a move. Okay, here comes a buyer here. I'm starting to move it back up. Okay, now looking for a move back to 36 from that buy side here. Okay, that just at least back to 36. That's it. Okay, but buying's really picking up in here. Now, are they able to move the market a little bit? A little bit. It's just being really careful with this. We look for a move and volume, not volume and no move here. Okay, going for 32. Boy, it doesn't take 32 on. Look at that. Interesting. Larger player here, large lot tracker showing probably about 800 contracts, one individual player here in the order book. And there he goes. Okay, so that transacted. So there's our transaction there. All right, and let's see what happens after that event. This is our big event here. Okay, and here it is. Like, it's a false breakdown. Okay, getting some sellers here. We're back up in the range here, looking for buyers here, looking for 36. Okay, because we're back up in the range here, and then looking for maybe our 38 level here. Okay, the event took place, but we're above it now. Okay, retest to it. And let's see if the buyers defend it. Boy, we're just not getting much from the order book in here. That just kind of wonky in here. Okay, it's really about, we're looking at the aggressors here. We're not getting too much out of this order book. And let's see. Okay, 95 iceberg here, transacted up here, followed down. And there's a stop run, 98 into 43.30. Oh, look at, he's lowering it down even more, getting filled. And here comes our friend. All right, so snaps it away here and back up into, let's see if we can get back. He's probably going to want to get it back to 36.5 here. All right, yeah, let's see it. Let's see it then. You should be able to do it. You got it. You got these guys on the hook, on the hook. Looking for buyers here at 33. And let's see the move. Ultimately looking for 38 basically, or 39 up here. So there they go. All right, now let's see, is he breaking structure? He just tested the structure. Okay, looking for more up here, 34.5, and then continuation. It's transacting. Okay, top edge. And let's see the push. Order book is still really dark underneath. There we go. Okay, still looking for the push. Okay, that guy's where he started buying is back to his point, or back to where he initiated here. Okay, I want to see it through that, him to be in profit, and that would be up here, 39. Okay, a little, see the order book, a little skew in the book. There's our 36. Still looking for more though. Kind of clue everybody in, back into the high volume node here. Yeah, everything is market orders. I agree, Eric. I mean, it's tricky. It's a lot trickier to read in here. It's just kind of dependent on the aggressor behavior, which is what we've been seeing here, and it started off way back here. I think where that larger player came in and disrupted the whole thing here, up here, right? And that and the market sentiment was pretty negative. So I mean, we got continuation here, and then but then these little trappy areas in here in the back and forth in here. And you can see, like, we can even take the order book here. Why don't we just make it more extreme? When there's not a whole lot of players, and you get those days, like let's say like in the S&P, we see these days when there is just it doesn't happen very often, but you might have your limit up, your limit down, and the circuit breakers are triggered, etc. The you'll just see like it bash around between kind of areas of high liquidity that start to come in, where larger players are willing to deal, and the market just kind of sways back and forth in between those areas in here. So if we zoom, yeah, I mean, there's 43.25. Now they're showing some in here at 29, getting our buyers. Okay, pulling here. Okay, return back to 36.5. Okay, and then 38 or 39. Sorry. Liquidity's up here at 40. Okay, not at 39. At least not now. No, so from 30 to 39 basically. Yeah, Alec, you just avoid trading in this. I do too. You know, I give it a few shots, and if the behavior is just difficult and hard to read, and we're not getting insight, then we've lost an edge. I mean, like this move down here. I mean, like, yeah, okay, it went down to this high volume node and it's bouncing off of it. Okay, yeah, we've got that to lean on. But when we, you know, here, no, we get high liquidity in here. Now, what's the reaction to it? Okay, sellers seem to go after it. There they go. Okay, now do they pull away and then come right back to 35 here? All right, you know, we can maybe since this is more challenging to read on these time frames, we can start to look at some very fractal time frames, smaller time frames in here, and start to read the order book. Maybe that's a better exercise right now, or look at just a different market. So here we go. Here's some liquidity coming in. Reaction has been sellers. Okay, great. Sellers, then go for it here. You know you can trade down here, 30. And they don't go for it. And let's see if they go for it now. They should go for it right here. They do not. One more. Now, third time's charm. Let's see, 30. And let's kind of set up here for a bigger move now. It's been making, well, it did make a kind of slightly higher high, but like it's making like lower lows here and lower highs in here. Bodes well for not just a move into 30, but our 25 or our 23 area that we're looking at here. And you know, it's been back and forth and back and forth. Now we're looking for a directional move here by the sellers. Okay, strong selling, boom, right down to 25 and 20 here. Let's see if they follow through. Not just sellers coming in and just a little bit here and then get upended. We're looking for them to drive it away on strong selling here. Okay, and so far so good. Let's see another leg lower here, and that should help seal that direction here. Okay, let's see it, sellers. There they go. All right, so and now continuation. We're not looking for in this move here. We're not looking for these sellers to be on the hook here. We're looking for buyer or sellers to drive it away from the area here. Okay, so and we already got to pull back all the way back to 30 where it just dropped from. Stop run here and here. All right, so this is kind of what we're looking for here. Our structure, and now we're looking for a new structure. And then this was really choppy in here in terms of structure. And come on, sellers, push it. Let's just double back to our higher time frame for a second here. Coming down to our line here. Okay, it's been a nice move on the daily at least. Hourly looks pretty good too. 15-minute. Yeah, we'd have to zoom in here a bit. Yeah, these wicks and this back and forth in here, this chop. As you guys can see, this was at the cash open here, right? 9:30. Yeah. So this is a 9:30 move here, you know, that concept of like who's in control. You can see it in some of the candlesticks here as well. So these are two pretty big pullbacks, but and we see rejection off these candles here, but the sellers remain in control. Okay, that concept is visualized in here with this sellers in control down into 50. We got some pullbacks, and then we've got the breakdown again here, and then I guess we can mark up some structure in here. Not bad here, at least here, and then this is where it gets kind of convoluted. Boy, they are on the hook. Yeah, we were looking for that directional move here, and you can see how they're on the hook. This is tough. And there's this, you know, the squeeze again. All right, let me jump back here. And let's take a look at some of the questions here in YouTube. Thiago, you're talking about Delta. Yeah. Market's going higher, suggests the sellers are closing positions, new buyers coming in. Well, that's where we look at the stops to try to get some insight from that. And this kind of dynamic between, like, you know, here, like icebergs here, 408, 351. You know, it's a lot of iceberg buying in here. But look where they started to buy, though. Here and here. And it's likely the same person or the same player. I think it's at the same price level. So, you know, he bought in here, he added in here. That's what it looks like to me. Boom, look at that. Okay, we're gonna see some stops here. Yeah. So we're looking for that directional move. It was starting to play out, now how many points did it go? 30. Like, let's just yeah, at 30 on down to about 27. It's only 3 points. Okay, we look for 4 or 5 for that directional move. Yeah, I thought we had it here, but this is where they got upended. You can see it right in here. Okay, we drew up the structure, and we were looking for this structure. The structure got broken here. tough. Boy, that would, boy, I wish I was, I don't know what I was covering at this point here. This is not a bad read in here for this kind of move higher here. Anyway, yeah, I mean, we got to continue to read the order flow. That's our job in here, and go through the details. Okay, we made a slightly higher high up here too. Again, this low volume node is holding. Okay, it did not fill in. Our bigger cluster down below, low volume node here, and just meaning that this move down below, it's accepting down below. It was building out a beautiful bottom edge, and we were looking for a rejection and then a move back up into the high volume node here. Nope, instead we got a new volume profile down here, and it's rejecting off of this 44 area here. Okay, we saw them defending it. I forget where. Maybe it was in here. Yeah. Let me get to some of these questions. Captain Price, yeah, I mean, a 10-point move, like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think it's hard on the S&P. It depends, though. Depends on the time. I mean, you know, a few months ago with some volatility, boy, it was easy. These little kind of moves down and then sharp moves away has been, you know, pretty disruptive, and we've been real attentive to it. Just not, like, you know, getting too much insight in some of these little areas in here. From the order book, and trying to Captain Price, you've been looking at the VIX as well. Okay, yeah, that's a you know, a much better, well, typically, kind of, a lot of times you can get when the order flow is a little more challenging in here, you know, a lot of times you can get that insight from different market correlations that can give you that edge. Like, let's take a look at Nasdaq. How's Nasdaq doing here? And that's a lot of buying over here on the Nasdaq. It did not break back up above, though. You can see the profile in the Nasdaq very different. Very different. Very choppy in here in the Nasdaq. Look at this. What about the Russell? Yeah, Russell's looking pretty good here. Here's the breakout. Now, we got to see the continuation here, but the large buying back up here looking pretty good. We want to see that continuation of the buying. There's a little bit of buying up here. It's not bad, but it's not that convincing, though. Here they come again, though. Now, this is where we need to see the continuation, and let's see if we get it here in the Russell. They're adding on the book here. We're finding buyers. Okay, they should be able to hit 1970. Okay, because if the reaction to this liquidity is buyers, we're looking for this to be the target. And the order book kind of flipped here. Came in at 69, and now they're pulling at this 67 here. Okay, so that's kind of tricky. Yeah, they pulled from 70 and added back down at 69. And now we have a new auction between 69 and 66. Volatility's been going up. All right. Captain Price, you don't like today's action, nor do I. Nor do I. Let's see. How to differentiate. Yeah, okay. Riz, I think you had reached out earlier to me about this, identifying the differentiating between liquidity that is absorbed versus liquidity that repels. Okay, so we've been going through some examples in here, and trying to get insight when it trades into a small area of liquidity, or large area of liquidity, but very short-term liquidity, and trying to understand. So what we look for. Well, first off, there's a few different things to look for. One is the longer-term high liquidity. Okay, and it basically kind of like marks out the price ranges. Let's go back to this S&P here. Yeah, let's turn our heat map back onto default. Okay. And the high liquidity is down in these areas here. Okay, so that's they want to deal if buyers or the buyers are down here. If the sellers want to reach the buyers, they're down here. Okay, so these areas, especially like when we don't have a lot of buying on the other side here, and we get those trends. We got lower highs, lower lows, and we see more selling at the lower lows, more consistent selling through those areas here. Yeah, we're looking for it to come down into these areas of high liquidity. Now, once it hits these areas of high liquidity, what do we see after that? Okay, that's where we look for, like, are they able to trade down below it? If not, are they able to get back up above that area here with some buying pressure? Okay, so typically then that leads to these kind of like volume that's on the hook here, and then you can get retests back up into these swings up here. Okay, so here's one already, but it didn't quite get all the way up there. It made a lower high. Okay, here again it traded into here, and then it did come up here, right? So, and again, like, we're looking for the liquidity. This is on, or I'm sorry, the volume. This is on the hook. This is kind of on the hook, and looking for a retest back up into some of these areas here. All right, so that kind of partially answers your question, but then, like we've been going through in here, what is the reaction to high liquidity? So here, larger player comes in and kind of tests and feels out the market. They didn't even transact, and they put in high liquidity. Here is about 138 contracts or so, 140. What was the reaction to it? Well, it's kind of muted in here. We don't really see too much. In fact, there's a bit more buying in here. We didn't get too much out of this reading or out of this test here. Let's just go through it. Like, here he comes in, puts his liquidity into the market. Okay, initially some selling. Okay, now we got some buyers here. And now it's just kind of sideways. Here we got a little interest, a little buying, but up here, do we get the buyers? Did they take them on? No. Yeah, and then he pulls. Looks like he pulls and partially added some down here to get filled, and he did. Okay, see how he pulled here and added down here, and then got filled. So, if he's going to put this in here and he doesn't find buyers, well, maybe he can get filled down here, find some buyers, and then look for continuation, right? So I would imagine that's kind of what the player is doing here. And then let's see, does it work out for him? Well, a little bit. Okay, is it the same player comes back in again? Maybe. Let's see how many contracts is this. Yeah, 131 in here, 132, 136 in here. Flashes again. You know, there's a relationship between these areas in here. See where this was like, this is demand turns into supply in some of these areas here. Here's kind of that concept of a flip of the book in here, and then we get the continuation here. Boy, even this is a hard read. I mean, even in hindsight, like yeah, there's some transactions down here, but there's some buyers back up into here. Sellers do take it down. They trade into 30 and through it. This is where we're looking for that continuation move. Now this is where they got upended, right in here. Yeah, tricky day. Okay, well, we have our European close here coming up, and we're back up here, kind of. This little, or this low volume node in here, very curious to see about what kind of unfolds here. If this is going to hold or not. Very curious. Okay, we're just back down into high volume node, or this most traded level here. Okay, let's see if we get sellers to try to move it away from it. There they go. Okay, bottom edge. All right, let's see them continue though. Looking for more sellers to try to drive it lower, 35. Can't even get that. Lack of selling. Okay, well, we're going to just look at some of these micro ranges in here. Here, we're getting sellers. Let's see, we get more sellers here at 38. Nope. Order book's actually showing a bit. Okay. Now, do we get our traders at 38 here, our sellers? Still no. There they go. Okay, 36 and 35 and maybe 33. Okay, looking for continuation. Bottom of the range, 36.5. Looking for it to transact. And we get buyers on the other side, or at the bottom edge here, right back into 39, right where they dropped it from. Okay, order book's starting to show something in here. There we go. There's a flip of the order book. See the flip on the bid, now on the offer, and sellers. Boom, 36 and 35. We should get it. Looking for it. And 34. They traded into 36. We got our sellers down here. Yeah, once again, right back up. Interesting. All right, here we go again. All right, we're getting our sellers. All right, sellers should be able to drop it. They got it. They've got it. Looking for 35. And they got these guys on the hook now too. See, now pull away. There, now we get 35. And I want to see more than that though, not just 35. I want to see more than that. Like, it should. Now this is, they come right back in. The squeeze is back on. Even microstructurally is challenging here. So yeah, it's just not a good day. Not a good day to trade. Okay, here we are back down again. Push that bottom edge here, sellers, and break it. Okay, you got your pullback. Now we're looking for them to break it. Now, see how it's dark in here, and what buyers can fill that in. But we're looking for our sellers here to push it. 30, 35, 34, back down to maybe 30 and yeah, 31 and 30 here. There's an algo here pushing lower. Nice little kind of I don't think he's chasing. I think he's trying to, you know, push price lower here. That's what it looks like. He did not, I don't see any large transactions from this algo in here. Oh, I'm sorry, maybe they did. And it's possible. Yeah, I still don't really, no, I don't really see it. I don't see it. So yeah, just trying to push price lower. That's what it looks like, appears. Spoofing type of ignition type of activity. Okay, there's a reaction to some liquidity right there. Sellers. And let's see this, they should be able to, looking for it, most likely move. Well, he pulled. So anyway, in terms of order flow, another thing to take a look at here is, like, if we're going to look at some of these ranges, and this is the behavior again and again and again, and we're not getting that kind of drive that we're looking for, then there's some really nice range bound you know, potential strategies here to look for. And that's on the hook, you know, these different traders at these areas here, within the range. So your range bound strategy, start to mark up your ranges in here and get a feel for them, and then look for someone being on the hook, like these buyers being on the hook here. Okay, if we get sellers here, all right, if we get sellers here, looking for the move right back down to 35. Okay, and then let's see if they can get through 35 and then get back down to the bottom of the range here, and maybe break a low into the 33 here, just from this structure. All right, so and you know, we played around with this idea a while back on a very choppy day. Okay, but we're looking for it right back down into these levels here. Okay, I was looking for, started off the day and looking for a directional move down to 23. That was the big move. We had nice volume, and then we saw a lot of disruptions within it, and started to kind of change that idea. And then, you know, now getting a feel for these little pockets and these kind of like smaller ranges in here, and you know, looking for some of these moves around these ranges here. Okay, and an order flow kind of on the hook or top of the range, and then sellers come in on the other side and bring it back down. Okay, so always looking at then the top of these ranges in here and looking for potential pitfalls here and traps. See, like this buying in here, now they're buying at the bottom edge here, and they're able to move it. They're able to move it higher now. But this, you know, if we get sellers below these guys here, look out. Now we can get their directional move we're talking about. But they're buying off of here, and they're able to move it higher, and they started to auction out up here and able to move it back up. Okay, well, where are they going to be upended? Okay, well, this is not a bad area here. So there are sellers. Now bring it back down here. Now let's get all of these buyers upended, and let's see a move down to 31 here. Let's see it, sellers. Okay, it's not a big directional move, but that's what would be looking for these guys to puke out. And here's going to pull that liquidity at 34. Great. Let's see the puke out. Let's see the stop run down to 31. Can't do it. No. All right, so back up to the top of the range again here. It's these sellers that are a bit on the hook here. This has been a really tricky day. Okay, would love to see it go below here. Let's see it if we can. If we don't, and we get our buyers up here back to 39, but here they go. All right, so sellers here. Let's see them move it back down the bottom of the range here, 34. And then let's see the move now, 31. It's got to be 31. Not looking for buyers to help out here. Looking for the continuation to 31. All right, even better. All right, sellers, let's see it then. Right down here at 33 to 31. They got to sell here though. We don't want to see selling up here. We want to see selling here. Okay, a little bit of order book skew there. Reaction is sellers. Let's see these guys get out of the way here at 32 3/4, and sellers drop it into 31 and maybe 30 here. There they go. Okay, 30 is transacting. There they go, even through 30. All right, let's zoom out here. Is this going to be the bigger move down to the low of the day here? And then 25. It looks pretty good. The volume is picking up here. Let's see if we can get our continuation down to 25, 20, maybe 15 or 13 down here. Let's just jump back and look at our higher time frame for a second. Okay, we're just getting around that edge here as we inch down. All right, yeah, I like it. I mean, it's European close is just finishing up here, so markets can basically move now. I think we'll kind of let's wrap it up here. We'll end here, and I want to I'll answer a few questions for you guys here before we go, but then jump over to the Traders Lab with Tom B. Okay, so he is he'll be trading this afternoon, and he's in there for like 4 hours, 4.5 hours. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to look at here and go through, and let's see if we can get our continuation here. So typically during the morning session, you get these opening drives like this, and then you kind of get a reversion trade, and then continuation in the afternoon is a likely scenario. Not always, You know, it makes sense. There's a lot of activity, US Open and Europe trading together, and then looking for, you know, the continued move later in the session. Now, there's a couple different scenarios we're going to look at here. Number one is we're looking for continuation lower. All right. Number two is, and on Fridays we have to be really careful about this, but look for it. Look for it. Okay. Here's what the scenario number two. Okay, is a move down below some of these areas here, our line or our levels here, and why we have these levels, and then the rejection, and then a move back up, probably right back up into maybe 43.80 or so, somewhere around in here. Okay, or maybe even higher. Right, this gets everybody on the hook. Everyone from yesterday, the sentiment is really bearish. Today we get down to these levels, and then you get this kind of reversion trade back up into these levels here. Okay, so be on the lookout for that scenario here, and it will be pretty. It should be pretty obvious. It should be pretty plain here. You'll just see massive green dots moving it away. Okay, after, I mean, it's been really choppy in here. You know, that's the second scenario to look for. And then, you know, everyone gets kind of, you get all these margin calls and liquidations and end of the week, and get everyone kind of on the hook. That happens a lot on Fridays. So we want to be on the lookout for that scenario, and yeah, see if this maybe unfolds here. Right, so keep an eye out for it. Let me answer a few more questions here. Yeah, Captain Price, hard to tell if there's real buyers in here or exactly. I've been struggling too, but we're looking for them, real buyers or real sellers here. And then these larger players kind of come in and disrupt the moves or the outlook in the order flow. Red dots are the stops. Okay, these blue areas are the icebergs, and it's also in the subchart here. Number in the lower left, not sure which, this one here, Matt. Well, this is just kind of, we have our volume bars down here, and this is just showing us the volume bars, kind of a reference point. So this is 2,500 contracts, and so this big green bar here is you know, probably around 2,000 or so. You can look into the details in the dots up here. Okay. So that answers that question. And Peter, trying to understand the volume profile underneath the chart with negative numbers. Not sure I understand what you mean there. The negative numbers? Well, I mean, it's always positive, no matter if it's buying or selling in here. There is on days like today also could be really helpful. Let's open up a new column here, and I just want to show you this feature in here, looking at delta. So looking at the same volume profile columns here, there's just two different ways of visualizing it. One is showing buy plus sell here. The sellers are red, the buyers, and this is this is the aggressor, and it's a composite though of buying and selling. This one here is buy minus sell. Same column, it's just a different configuration, but we can start to understand where sellers and buyers are in some of these ranges here. Okay, and where they could be upended too. So like right now, it's trading into that high liquidity at 25. Okay, well, if we can get buyers pull it away from those guys, where would they start to take control? They would really start to take control up here, okay, around 37. But if they can get upend these guys in this kind of selling cluster, see the selling in here, if buyers can upend them here around 27, then look for that scenario. And where would they likely trade back to? Well, maybe 30. okay, by just looking at some of these delta areas here, because this is where buyers were previously. Like, there'll be sellers once it comes back up here, right? You know, if they're still holding, if they haven't gotten stopped out. So we can start to look at for some of those scenarios to maybe unfold using the delta as well. What do stops and icebergs mean? Peter, I would recommend going to our knowledge base. Go to bookmap.com, click on the more button, go to the knowledge base. Let me show you quickly. Okay. Let's see here. Bookmap.com, click on the more button, go to our knowledge base here. Okay, and then in here, go to the add-ons section here, and then you can read about stops and icebergs here and here. All right. Yeah, that'll go through it, and that should answer your questions. All right, guys, thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good weekend, and continue on with the Traders Lab with Tom B. That's exclusively on our Discord channel, and you can continue with the analysis over there. Tom is looking at volume profile. Okay, thanks, everybody, and have a good weekend.